Good morning.
Good morning. I'm blurry again.
Today's one of those days I just want to punch Jason in the face.
Wow. Just going at it.
And we haven't even been up for 30 minutes.
Today's one of those days where I'm not putting pants on. And I'm blurry, but hopefully it'll unblur itself at some point. But I think today we want to talk about our new house.
Kind of.
What?
We want to talk about the different ideas that we have about the type of house we want to build.
Yes. Do we want to do a normal tiny house? We want to do an A-frame? Do we want to do flat roof?
A 2-story?
Maybe something with an underground
storage
bunker,
wine cellar / office.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
We're not doing that good on YouTube. You can fill it up with wine.
But it will be there for some day when we are.
So,
my tongue hurts.
Jaylene a better tongue, and that's all I've heard about.
Have you ever bit your tongue so hard that you saw 4 gashes in the bottom of your tongue? It was blue and had blood blisters all the way down, and the top was blue and purple because it was bruised on the top too. Because that's what my tongue looks like. I have pictures to prove it.
Yep. And so, anyways, we were thinking about maybe an A-frame or...
At first we were thinking, at first it was the shed house. And then we were thinking, well, no, let's just build it ourselves. And so this has gotten our minds flowing. And we were thinking, man, it'd be really cool to do an A-frame house. But we want the house to be somewhat mobile, and if in the case that we ever wanted to move it, we could, but not like on wheels.
Yeah, basically you'd have to bring a truck in to lift it like any other house. But with it being a small, you could do it on a flatbed trailer. So I really like the idea of an A-frame. I'm not going to say easier. There's less moving parts because it's literally roof, wall. You're not building like walls all the way around, then a roof, and it's less. And the bad thing is you have less room because it's at a pitch on both sides. You don't have the straight up walls. So you'd have to build it big enough to make it worth it.
Yeah, so it'd have to be really wide. I think for both of us to really be comfortable, it'd have to be a pretty decent size if it's an A-frame house. Yeah. But we're trying to go as tiny as possible. So is an A-frame house really a good idea for us right now?
Wait a minute. Trying to go as tiny as possible? But what if we have kids? This is coming from Jaylena. Don't get mad at me.
We hear that a lot, that we need to build bigger now because what if we have kids? And I get it. I totally understand. But what I also see... Oh.
The cat is sneezing all over my feet.
She got big old boogers coming out. Poor baby. She has a lot of respiratory issues.
Yeah, a lot of issues.
Not you, the cat. What was I saying? Oh, my sister, all of her kids slept in her room till they were like 4 or 5. They had their own room and they slept in her room. And then by my youngest nephew, they just put his bed in their room next to their bed. And he would sleep in there, and they shared a room until he was about 5. And then he got his own room and started sleeping in there. And even me, I remember being 5 and sleeping in my mom's room. I always slept in my mom's bed.
I'm pretty sure our parents kicked us out as soon as possible. They said, you get your own room. And then as soon as they kicked us out of the house, they said, you get in your own house. You're out. Now, I really don't remember what age we were when we started like sleeping in our own rooms. I have no idea.
I don't know what age I was, but I remember being 5 and sleeping in my mom's room. And then we moved to Texas when I was 6, and we all slept in the same room in my sister's living room in her apartment.
That's different circumstances. Well, you were just moving here. Totally different. But before Jaylena goes into this crazy life history of her moving around,
people live on buses with their kids. They live in tiny vans with their kids and
yeah,
multiple
RVs
kids.
And...
So it's not that big of a deal if you really think about it, because really and truly, we are not planning on living in this tiny house for
Forever.
the rest of our lives.
No. And if it ever did come down to staying on the ranch for the rest of our life in the house, we would just add on. If it ever came down to it, probably won't.
Well,
but if it ever came down to it, just add on.
Either add on to that, or depending on where we are at financially.
No, but what I was saying was, worst case scenario, if we never build another house somewhere else, we just add on to that one.
And we already have, we have one idea of a house that we would like, and if we do it that way, we already thought of how we can add on to it to make possibly a 2-bedroom house if we wanted to at some point.
Yeah, and a big thing for me, and I think a lot of people are against it these days because we live in the world of everybody's offended. You have to use sanitizer 6 days or 6 times a day and all this stuff. I want my kid to grow up outside. I want there to be more living space outside than in the house. I don't want to raise a kid stuck on a phone, stuck on video games and stuff like that. I was raised in the era of video games had just started coming out, and we loved to play video games, and we played a lot, but we were probably outside more often. And especially as a kid, I grew up outside, and that's what we did. We were just constantly riding bikes and going places, coming to the ranch and stuff like that, and that's almost a lost thing these days. And I don't want to see, if we have kids, raised like kids that I see being raised out in the city. I don't want that. If that happens to be your kids, there's nothing wrong with it. It just, that's not how I want to raise my kid. And whether it's a boy or a girl, I want them to know being outside is awesome. Being stuck to a screen this close is not that awesome. Because if we're still doing YouTube, they're already going to have a camera in their face, and that's enough.
I want to tell a story.
Let's keep it short.
It's very short. I remember being a kid. I was probably in 3rd grade. And I know some people
Most kids are in 3rd grade.
Bro. Sorry, I take that bro back. A lot of people would be mad.
Whoa.
They would be mad. But I remember being in 3rd grade, when the house that we lived in had a creek, and it was sand.
A creek or a crick?
It had a creek. A creek. This isn't
Oklahoma.
West Virginia. And I know that they say that in West Virginia because I worked at Jared's job and I talked to a lot of people in West Virginia, and they say
This
creek.
story's lasting longer than you said.
Because you keep interrupting. Anyways, I lived next to a creek, and there was sand, and I remember being in 3rd grade outside playing in the sand making mud pies because it was raining and it was a thunderstorm.
But how do you make mud pies in sand?
Well, it was more like mud because it was raining, but it was sand. But
did you ever have the thoughts as a kid that you were gonna die in quicksand? That was my biggest fear. Was dying.
Only when I played Super Mario.
I thought there was gonna be quicksand out in the world, and you would not be able to get out of it. Those are real thoughts.
Though that was a real thought when I was playing Super Mario.
But back to our house. We're still up in the air. We have not picked the exact design. So we kind of want y'all's ideas on what you think. And think realistically on our budget, our wants. We're trying to go small. So no, we're not going to build a huge 200 or 2,000 square foot house or anything like that. We're not going to do like an 80 square foot house. But we're not going to go huge either. So small A-frame, small tiny house, small shed-to-house type thing. Nothing the size of Jared's house. Nothing that size.
And I'm sure a lot of people think like, well, Jared's house is probably the perfect size for you guys and this and that. And
it is.
In
the grand scheme of things.
When we first got that building and we taped everything off, the rooms the way we wanted it, the furniture where we wanted it and stuff, I remember us all standing in there thinking this is going to be so small.
Yeah, we're like, this is not going to work.
And now when you walk into that house, it's like a normal size house. It's really big. It's a lot bigger than you would think.
The rooms are a little small.
The bedrooms.
Yeah, the bedrooms are a little small compared to like an average house, but not really, because the house we lived in before we moved to Terrell, the
Our room
bedrooms
was
were
tiny.
yeah, were pretty much the same thing, and the bathroom
Was even smaller.
was tiny, and so the bathrooms that we built are a lot bigger.
Yeah, and in Jared's house, the bedroom is a little on the smaller side, but you have a very big bathroom
Mm-hmm.
with the barn doors. When you open it up, it makes the room feel a lot bigger. And realistically, what do you need in your room besides your bed and a dresser?
Before we moved out to Terrell, up in the Dallas area, when we did the shed to house, Jalen and I started talking about tiny houses. And I'd been thinking about it for a while. This is when we first started dating. I'd been thinking about it for a while.
We've been dating for almost a year.
No, but I thought about it before you even came to the picture.
Oh, yeah. And
She thought about it before I came to the picture. So whenever we started talking about it and really saying, let's do this, I said, okay, in this house right now, what do we use and what do we not use? We had a whole dining area. We had built a table, like a farm table and everything. We used it once in 4 years that we lived there, or 5 years that we lived there. I don't know how long. Used it once for Thanksgiving one time when my parents came up. And then the bedroom, we only went in there to sleep. That was it. Nothing else. Sleep, get clothes, get out.
And then there was a man cave that eventually turned into just storage.
The man cave was my office at the time. That's where I did my video work and stuff. And Jared was able to put all his like sports stuff and hunting and fishing stuff. Like we had car parts. Like it was a cool man cave for me and Jared that were bachelors before someone came and ruined my bachelor moments of man cave.
That wasn't me. When I came, it was a storage unit. But right before me, it was not.
No, it was man cave, but then became storage.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's the problem. The room became storage. It became the stuff that's like, I don't want to get rid of this, but I don't want to use it. So why keep it?
And Jared's the worst when it comes to like him not wanting something, but he doesn't want to like put it out there for people to get it.
Oh, when he was trying to get rid of something?
Yeah, he would just rather not talk to anybody and put it in the other room. Or if he could, he would put it on the
curb and let someone take it. But anyways, we started really diving down into it and was just like, we don't need all this space. The kitchen, we used the oven like twice the whole time we lived there. Of course, yes, it'd be better to cook some more, but we barbecued so much. We did stuff like that where it was
an awesome outside.
Yeah, we built an awesome area outside that you can cook and all that. So we utilized that a lot. We didn't use the dining room. The living room, we pretty much used one couch. We had two, but we only used pretty much one couch. You just need your TV, your couch. That's it. The bedroom, we went in there to sleep and to get clothes. That was it. The man cave, I went in there to edit my videos, but that was it. The bathroom was super small. I mean, we started really breaking it down, and I remember measuring our living room and being like, could we live in this? And just our living room? And we're like, with me and her, yes. But if Jared's in the picture, I think we need something bigger. So I started measuring the living room and the dining room together and started really trying to close it off in my mind. Can we live in this? Can you turn this into a room? This and that. And we started to really realize, yes, you don't need a whole lot.
I think our end idea with that was that we could live in the living room and the dining room area.
Yes. So that's kind of where we're at. If you guys have your thought process on that, on what we should do, just know we are trying to keep it smaller. Should we consider A-frame, a container, multiple containers, tiny house, even a shed to house still? What should we consider? We're open to most ideas. I don't think we want to live in a yurt. Not here. We don't want to live in a teepee, at least not full time. Stuff of that nature. So,
and keep in mind, our ideal size would either be 12 by 20, between like 12 by 20 and 14 by 24.
Something of that nature. So let us know your thoughts. We need more coffee. and then we
gotta
got
get to work.
a lot of work to do. I'm pretty sure Matt is coming out, so hopefully we'll get even more done. We need to do some more mowing. We need to do more on the house. I think Jaylene is probably just going to take over mowing. She was, in the nicest possible way, she was a beast.
That was my thought for it.
Okay, well, there you go. So Jaylene's going to get to mowing. We're going to get to building. I'm going to get a little more coffee. We'll see y'all guys tomorrow on Coffee with the Crackers.